Hello, can you hear me? Am I coming in live? Oh, I forgot to mute my phone, so that's a bit of a surprise. Hopefully, we'll just sort that out momentarily. Cool. How is everybody doing? Good evening. Good evening. How are we all doing? Hello. Whoa. Loads of people. Loads of people. Welcome along. Welcome along. How is everybody doing? No. Did this stop working? Nice, man, nice. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking directly at the camera here. Not going to lie. I am feeling reasonably under the weather. Bosco, how are you? Are you making an early appearance this evening? I'm not feeling particularly great, but we're gonna power through. We are full of painkillers, and we are gonna do some painting. I thought we would take a look at some stuff. So, so we have been painting a few things on stream. So we have been painting this MC Hammer, this guy here. We based him up last time, or we started to base him up. Whoa. Focus. Yeah, started basing him up. So he's kicking along quite well. He's looking good. He's settled into himself. He's really looking like $1 million. So he's doing well. We then started painting his Squire sword boy. He's not looking as good. We had a bit of an issue. With him. If I can get this gosh darn thing to focus, you can see on his old leggies here that we painted in some of this silver, and yeah, it didn't take. It was pretty upset. Didn't want to stay on board. Abandoned ship. So we're gonna have a crack at sorting that old mess out. Yeah, we'll talk about it once we get there. Well, no spoilers. We don't want no spoilers around about these parts. And then lastly, if you're following my Instagram, I mentioned my white whale, the miniature that has been haunting me for years and years, which is this guy, this Warsong Revenant. So I have been painting this now for 2 years, maybe even longer than that. I bought this model when it was first released, so whenever that was, and I've never quite been happy with it. I've put a ton of work into kind of trying to glaze up the cloak here, and trying to get it to where I want, but I still just don't think it pops enough. So I'm gonna try and maybe get to that tonight. And I think one of the problems is that I've never really kind of finished up on the base here. So you can see that I started doing some work glazing in some green on these brown vines, but I never really got to the point of finishing that up. So I think if I spend a bit of time potentially just on the basing parts of this, then that might be some time well spent, and we'll see if we can get there. See if we can get that to be slightly better. I really need to take a moment and mute my phone here, because every time it goes off, the thing vibrates, and I'm worried that you guys are gonna have an aneurysm. because it's the camera's vibrating so much. So yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good, David. It's all good. All the promotion helps. All the promotion helps. So yeah, that's the plan. How is everybody doing? What's everybody up to? As you kind of watch along. I hope you all had a fantastic old week. I have been suffering with like some sort of like cold and flu type epidemic thing. So that's what I get. Like I left the house 3 times last week. Like I went to 2 gaming events and also went to Tabletop Scotland. And of course, as someone who doesn't leave the house that often, my immune system just doesn't cope with other people. I say it's my immune system, it's probably just me in general, right? Like I just don't cope with other people particularly well. What I was going to do is, now talking about this guy, talking about like what happened, right? So we put on some paint on this guy last time we were streaming, which was, can you believe, 7 days ago? Oh, Termagants, man. Amazing. See, the Tyrannid horde stuff is brutal. So it is, man. I don't know how you do it, but your work is amazing. I reposted one of your pictures, man. And the colors pop like unbelievable. They're so good, Bill. They're so good. Hopefully you get to where you need to be with them. So yeah, I had brought in this AK paint, Beastie Brown or Beast Brown, and I had painted on his boots that color. You're very welcome. I mean, talent speaks for itself, man. Talent speaks for itself. And then what I had done was I had gone over the. I'd noticed that he had some shin guards on. Mountain of paint, more tile. Oh, jeez. Listen, you're talking to a guy who has paint by the gallon here. You know, in our hobby, you're usually talking about milliliters, but I'm buying in the gallon over here. So I know how stressful that is, kind of thing. So yeah, I noticed that he had some shin guards. So I went in with the old, and apologies, I was airbrushing and I didn't put gloves on, so my fingers are all kind of cheesy orange. Yeah, so I went in with this plate mail metal and went over it, which then gave me that. And then what I did was, after probably not waiting long enough, I went in with the old favorite here, the Grim Dark Shadow. And what happened was, when I was applying the old Grim Dark Shadow, what happened was the paint started to lift, which isn't ideal. But like, as we've talked about a lot, you know, there's no problems, right? There's no problems. Like, we can fix this. We're all talented individuals. And again, if you have the Peter McCourt bingo chart, you're going to have to mark off your first entry on it. I didn't try and replicate it. I haven't. I must admit, I haven't picked up paintbrushes like basically since I last painted, because I've been absolutely in a bit of a kind of daydream for the last 7 days. Yeah. So the as our spiritual leader, our mentor, our lover, Bob Ross would say, the canvas is afraid of us, right? The canvas is afraid of us. We're the master of the canvas. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix this. It's all good, man. It's all good. So what I pulled down is I wanted to play about with some P3 paints. So I've got all these. I've got a back to Kickstarter for the P3 paints, and they all came. And like, then I kind of put them all in the rack, and then I've done absolutely nothing with them, which is, what can I say? I'm a bit of an idiot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this coal black, just to kind of go over those boots to give me a bit of action. So one of the things about the P3 paints is that it takes a bit longer to dry, apparently. So like, it's supposed to be really good for blending on the miniature. One other thing that I'm going to mess about with today, because you know, like I love to kind of mess about with stuff, is I bought some of these Rosemary and Co. Sable Series 98 brushes. Let's see if you can see them. So this is the 2. I've used it a little, and I haven't used it very much. They are fancy and triangular, so I'm going to give one of them a bash. Just because I want to see if they're actually any good or not. I'm immediately not a fan of the triangular handle, but let's see if they put paint on the miniature. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna block in. Yeah. So the thing about the P3 paints I was talking about there is that they're apparently amazing for if you're into blending on the miniature, because they stay dry a bit long. They stay a bit wet. Yeah, I don't like the triangular handles either, Imogen. I don't know why. I think it's just what you're used to, right? So yeah, apparently the P3 paints stay pretty wet for a while. So I mean, for our purposes here, it's probably going to be a pain in the arse, right? Because I'm trying to paint as fast as I can and get stuff done here, but we'll try. I mean, it went on okay. Went on okay. So yeah, what's everybody's projects that they're into? So I know you're doing gaunts and a bit of paint work. Anybody else got anything fun on the hobby desk? And I do apologise if I'm doing a lot of mouth breathing. I'm kind of, as I say, still recovering from whatever this disease was. Ah, excellent. They're looking so nice, MJ. They're looking really nice. They are incredibly unique. I've never seen anybody else doing something like that. So kudos to you for hitting that up. That's real good. So yeah, this P3 paint's gone on quite well. It feels thick. I don't know if you guys ever get that feeling with paint, but it's quite a thick paint. It's been on okay. He's looking okay. He's looking smashing with these coal black shin guards. Gotta get the death guard done first. I mean, David's death guard were amazing. They were really nice. I really enjoyed looking at those. I'm also very nasally. That paint of the brush that makes it feel that way. Well, I mean, I know that you were having big problems with the old favorite here, Mr. Raphael, and you were basically slating Mr. Raphael. I can't believe it. He's one of my best friends in the world. But yeah, I think it's. I don't know if I doubt it's the brush. I really am disliking the triangles here. Like these triangles are not great at all. That's good though. Like I think one of the things that I think is important is like I've kind of been banging on about for a bit is like finding your process and finding what tools work for you, you know, like and what actually gets you to get paint on the miniatures. Like I think it's all good if you can get the paint on the miniatures. I think it's the most important thing. Stay out of the way of your process. I forgot to top up my my paint water here, so I'm just slowly squeezing water into it from the thing that I use in the airbrush. Give me a second. Yeah. So there we go. What's everybody got planned for the weekend? Anything exciting? Personally, I am gonna be spending the weekend staying as still as possible, hoping that Papa Nurgle and his watch watch leave me. So yeah, while that's drying, I'm gonna start thinking about his skin. Okay. That'd be building wardrobes. Yeah. The tariffs are going to be a nightmare because it used to be the case where, like, I can't remember what the thing was, like, if it was under $800 it would be fine to send, kind of thing. But these days, like, it's massive problems, kind of thing, for everything, which isn't fun. Yeah, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sorting out this skin on his face. So I used the old favorite, the Gulliman's flesh tones, whatever he is, the old Gully man. Yeah, so I used that, but it's turned out incredibly dark. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, his boss here, MC Hammer, is a dark man, but like I was hoping that that this guy would be slightly lighter, seeing as how we painted in his skin ginger, his hair ginger. So I'm going to just start looking at the old army painter rose skin tones. I'm going to start with this moonstone skin and just kind of give it a bit of a bash. I haven't really used these army painter jobs, these like skin tones. I actually didn't really like them. I think they're very pink. But we'll give them a go. I mean, what have we got to lose? If we don't like it, we can fix it. We can fix it up. Yeah, so let's get some paint on his face. I'm just gonna take, I don't wanna come in here wild. I'm just gonna try and just lightly glaze on. Don't wanna destroy him. Yeah, I was watching, like, I don't know, like not to slate other YouTubers, kind of thing. Not that I'm really a YouTuber. I'm just a guy who likes to talk and paint on stream, But I was watching Ninjon's video this week just to kill some time. The Pro Krill skin tones. Yeah, I think getting those, like, so the Games Workshop, the trio of like Bugman's Glow, Cadian Flesh Tone, or Cadian Flesh Tone, and the third one, whatever the third one is, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, those have just been my go-to for so long. It's kind of difficult to kind of move away from them, I think I'm going to bring this down a bit because I think that might not be particularly good. Yeah, So not that I like to kind of slate other people. I mean, certainly not on recording. But yeah, like the Ninjon's video this week was talking about either dilated for skin tone. That's cool. I've never really used any of the green stuff World paints. I should really give them a shot. Give them a wee shot and see how we go. Yeah, so like I just killing a bit of time. So I was watching Ninja and he was talking about how he's failed as a teacher, which was a good bit of humility from Ninja. Like, he's never really one that I've found to have much humility, right? But like, he was talking about how he's failed as a teacher because one of the things, I know, shocking, right? One of the things that, like, he has, like, when he was teaching at Nova Open, I think it was Nova Open. Nova Open was the latest one, right? Like, that was the one in, what is it, in Washington? And like, basically some of these students were struggling, right? Like, and they were struggling to kind of DC. They were struggling to get stuff together, like, and kind of copy what he was up to, and what he was saying was that like he's like trapped under plastic fan. Yeah, like I don't know, like Miniac is. I used to really like Miniac. I used to support his Patreon. Jugs is fantastic. I do agree, Bill. Jugs is fantastic. I used to be like a big like support his Patreon and stuff, but I just thought that he just didn't really get it. Like there's something like it was just something he just doesn't get about like being supported by a community. You know, it's almost like there's an expectation there of like I'm not going to put out content and yeah, you're going to support me anyway. You know, that's certainly the way I felt about it. But I mean, maybe I'm sometimes bad at reading people. You know, but one of the things he was talking about in this video was like that one of the things that I actually really like that skin tone now that I've got it on there. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Opinions changed. I'm just going to let it dry now because if I keep messing with it, I'm going to introduce loads of texture on his face. But I think a wash over the top of that will do it. We'll sort him out. But yeah, like he's talking about how like some of the guys on the course. So I'm just going to jump back to this plate mail metal, just for his shin guards here, like really struggle with what one thing that they actually were struggling with was how gently to use the brush. And what he was saying was a lot of them are going in with the brush and like giving it like murder brush kind of thing. And I'm kind of curious, like how gentle people are when they're painting with the brush. Because like I think like one of the things that I've been like saying like over the last couple of streams is like when I'm doing the brush stuff, I'll kind of subconsciously say, oh, I'd be gentle here and like do bits and pieces, but like. I don't know. I don't know if the P3's dry. I've just kind of went on it anyway. So it seems to be dry. I'm vibe painting this evening, Imogen. I'm vibe painting. Like let's not bring rules into this. But yeah, like like, but how gentle are people generally with the brush? I guess realistically, you really just want to like ever so slightly touch the model with a brush, and I guess it's one of those things like that. In general, I feel like I don't grab enough paint in the brush. Yeah, like there's there is that, Bill. Like there's a kind of. I think this is one of the things that a lot of kind of YouTube tutorials and bits and pieces. Thanks very much, Imogen. Good shout out. You're doing God's work. Oh, I don't know if God would really be bothered about miniature painting, but he did create the universe in 3 days. Yeah, so like how much it's like the classic things of like they all come down to feel, right? Like there's how yeah, I got this. That you've got like this whole thing about like paint consistency and like having the feel of paint coming off the brush and how hard and how like how hard you have to put the brush against the miniature to get the paint off and like how do you like I guess the big thing that I'm trying to get to is how do you actually explain that on a medium such as YouTube, like because a lot of this is feel, right? And you just have to spend time getting to know the products and how they react and kind of just all that kind of bits and pieces, like I think it's interesting. Like it's almost like the medium of YouTube is, or even Twitch or whatever, like or whatever I'm doing is like the wrong way to actually teach this, and that actually in person and being able to actually see and feel things is maybe the way to learn how to do this stuff, I have been thinking about taking like courses. You know, like there's guys in the UK here that do courses, and like actually just having someone looking over your shoulder and or looking over someone else's shoulder. You know, like there's definitely like a tactile thing that you just don't really get otherwise. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think like I mean, I've been at this a long time, so you start to get the feel for things. Yeah, like I think, but how do you teach someone the feel? You know, and I guess it kind of comes back to like my kind of mantra of like, not that I'm the the best painter on the planet, or by any stretch of imagination, or even in the top half of the best painters on the planet. But like, you have to just spend time at this, you know. Can't teach passion. Look at that. This guy's old shin guards are looking good now. They're looking all right. He's looking well. He's looking well. His face is looking good as well. He's looking mighty dirty, which I love. I like him. I want him to be filthy. I want him to be filthy. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's just all very like interesting, very interesting thoughts, right? Like I'm big on like how to get people into the hobby, and like unblocking people from, well, saving them from themselves. I'm just going to put I'm just thinking that I'm going to put some of this warm skin shade. This is if you've got the Peter McCourt bingo card, this is a John Blanche paint, one of the John Blanche series. It's he loved these paints so much he put his name on. Yeah, I think I'm going to put this on his face and just see how it looks. I think I've used this a couple of times and I've just not been happy with it. So I'm just going to use it again, and then maybe this time I'll be happy with it, you know. I don't know how this works. So yeah, if we'll just pop some of this on his old face here. His old face. Oh, he's looking all right for that. He's looking all right. Bit of suntan. He is a ginger after all. Like, he's allergic to the sun. So he's going to have a bit of a sunny face. There we go. Yeah. I might even just put it over his hair as well. Why not? Let's bring it all together. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Just vibing here tonight. We're vibing. We're chilling. We're enjoying. The paint's all good, man. There's no mistakes. It's all happy. It's all happy. Yeah. Well, yes. Oh, that's looking well. He's looking well. So yeah. So now, one of the things we did with this guy last time was we did an all-over wash with the old Grimdark Shadow here. So to unify in his boots again, happy little accents. Like, you know, it's all good. You're gonna, you know, you spend so much time like worried about making mistakes and doing things wrong and all this kind of stuff, and really just stress yourself out. I've got a whole thing about this, Bill. Like, I've got a whole thing about the kind of idea of people being completely clean, you know, in a war zone is kind of antithetical, right? You know, like, especially when it comes to like 40k, like where you've got like, you know, these tanks have been kicking around for 40 millennia, you know, and they're they're driving out into the battlefield factory fresh, you know. Like, there's something just not that just doesn't kind of work in my head when it comes to that, you know. So I prefer things to be pretty filthy. I don't like the clean look, you know, like the like ultra clean, like you're on the dirty train as well. We all knew that, Imogen. Jeez. The whatchamacallit, I've now lost my train of thought. Yeah, like, so I like them to be quite filthy. Like, I like them to be pretty filthy. And I've just put the paint, the army painter paint is one of the most disgusting things on the planet. It really is. Don't put it in your mouth. I don't condone that. I'm just going to put a bit more in here as well. Yeah. So yeah, like I think I like the old dirty look, Bill. I have bought something that when I was at the kind of convention to try and aid in this, and it's these villainy inks, these enamel shots. So there's a ton of them here. Only consume Nuln oil. I drink Nuln oil in my coffee in the morning. That's how I get this complexion. Yeah, so Icor of the Damned. We have Sector Rust. We have Carrion Crimson. We have Dystopian Brown. We have Goon's Grime. And we have, lastly, Decay of Death. All good names. It's also quite cool because they come in like this is the annoying thing. So like it's like I don't know, you pointed it out, Imogen, it's like essential oil bottles, which I'm not madly in love with. I'm kind of tempted to go completely off piste here and just douse something in one, like just so that I can see what it looks like. But I don't really have anything that I can really just like absolutely sacrifice here for the greater good. The greater good. Yeah, so I'm kind of tempted. To give it a go. I'll come back to that. But they're quite cool things. I don't know if they're worth it, right? Like, let's talk about the cost of things, right? Like, those 7 bottles were £82 sterling, like 82 Great British pounds, which is an incredible amount of money. Like it really is a very expensive option. I'm not really sure. I mean, what kind of size are the bottles? The bottles are. I mean, this comes all the way from the US. Some of them actually, interestingly, I think what's good is that some of them are airbrush friendly and some of them aren't, which I didn't realize until I was messing about with the bottles there. Yeah, so it doesn't even. So they're 30 mil. So 30 mil for like, what would it be, like £12 or £13 per bottle? It's quite expensive. I don't know if I can really like bring myself to say, yeah, these are they're gonna have to be quite good, right? Like they're gonna have to be like really good, like to make it worthwhile. So I use a lot of oil paints, right? For talking sake. So here's like an Absalom 502. So Absalom's my go-to brand, right? This is a blue-green oil, right? Oil paint, right? And what I do is I mix them up in shot glasses here. Yeah, so there's a green. And just put some white spirit in it, right? And like one of those Absalom jobs costs like £4 or £5 max, right? And I could probably, out of this tube, I've been using them for a long time. These Absalom things, I think they're like about £5 or £6. Like I can't, like I mean, unfortunately, I'm a bit bad with pricing because I just buy things because I'm an idiot. But like, no, the villainy. So it was £82 for the 7, that starter set that I got. That's still fresh in the memory because it stung so badly. Yeah, and then you buy like a bottle of white spirit, you know, and then you dilute this down, and I mean, this would last you basically the rest of your mortal life, you know. Um, so it's kind of like, right, 30 ml of that. If you're doing an army, you're probably talking like you're gonna need like a ton of them, kind of thing, you know. Like that's you wouldn't want to paint your living room with that kind of price. Yeah, like it's hard to kind of justify that kind of price, right? Especially if you're an army builder. If you're like a if you're just a person that does like dioramas and things like that, maybe they're worth it, right? But I can't. I'm struggling with the price of them, and it like I'm almost at the point just now where I don't want to use them on stream because like I've got a whole thing about encouraging people like to buy products that they can't afford, right? Like, and this hobby is expensive enough as it is. So, like, if I showed someone, oh, this is an awesome product, right? Like, it's kind of on me that they are having to do without, you know. No hoarding. Well, can't guarantee anything in this life. No hoarding. So yeah, the man here is looking good. So I think like one of the things, what we're going to do next one, let me get my painty brush here. Another brand that we're not going to talk about. Yeah, so what we're probably going to do now is start to highlight up his tunic here. So we did his tunic on in the old Angel Green, the Dark Angel Special. And what we're going to do is we're going to work up the colours with the old Guardian Green here. Yeah, somebody was asking me the other day about kind of like my process for dry brushing, and I feel like I've kind of talked it to death, but I'll kind of go through it again. So when I'm dry brushing, I like to use blue roll or mechanics roll rather than like kitchen towel. And the reason why I like it is I feel like it doesn't absorb as much moisture out of the paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of tilt this down a bit so you can see what I'm doing a bit. So I grab my handy dandy, that's not a dry brush, this one's the old Artist's Opus. What I do is I grab the Guardian Green, give it a shake, put it on the palette, grab the brush, bosh it in onto the blue roll just to get some of the paint off, onto this wooden palette just to get some more of the paint off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to test it on my finger here. So immediately I was seeing results too quickly. Yeah, the back of the hand is the Jackson Pollock. So immediately when I went onto the back of the hand there, I was seeing results too fast, right? So that told me that I'm probably got too much paint in the brush. One of the big things about dry brushing is if you immediately start to see, and I'm probably talking to people that know exactly what they're doing, if you're seeing results immediately, then you've got too much paint on the old brush kind of thing. This should be like quite a old steady process, you know. So yeah, so quite happy with that ish. I think I'm probably still a bit too much on there. So I'm just gonna start to dry brush on. I don't really care if I'm gonna get paint on the kind of leather on the back here because I'm gonna come in and re-highlight it anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Let's not stress. We're in a zero stress environment here, guys. There's enough stress in your day without stressing about painting miniatures, eh? Who'd stress about these things? God, you wouldn't catch me doing that at all. So yeah, just gonna highlight them up. Let me zoom in here so that you can actually see what's going on. Well, there we go. There we go. So you can see that we're starting to get results on the old tunic here. Again, not really fussed. Not really fussed. It's all happy accidents. It's all happy accidents. we're gonna, all these colours we can fix in post. We're not really caring. Well, that's that paint dry already. I must be non-humid here at the minute. Yeah, so a wee bit more paint on the dry palette there. Again, back in with the brush, give it on there, and then there we go. We're all good. We're all good again. And the reason that you'll say to me, well, Peter, why does it matter about pulling the moisture out of the brush, right? So, well, it matters because the more moisture you take out the brush, the chalkier your dry brush will look. So you see, like if you've ever had that kind of real chalky looking finish with dry brushing, a lot of that is because there's no moisture left, and you're just basically smearing around the place, pigments around the place, and you've got no medium left to kind of dilute them or anything like that. So yeah, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the regular brush pigment. So bad sold to makeup. Yeah, that do the business. That do the business, Bill. Then you're not with that. You're not taking out the moisture either. Yeah, so anything just not to kind of take the moisture out. So I'm just coming in with the regular brush here, and I'm just going to highlight up the bits that I can't get to with the old big ugly dry brush. So again, doing the same thing. I've taken some paint off the brush, and I'm just coming in here, and now we don't talk about edge highlighting around about these parts, so don't even suggest that I'm edge highlighting at the minute. This is certainly not edge highlighting. We don't do edge highlighting around here. That's a Games Workshop thing. Yeah, so just coming in and just kind of reinforcing this a bit. I just want it to pop. I just want it to look nice. I think we all just want these things to look nice, right? Like we just want them to be right. So yeah. So again, I'm just going to lick my brush there after I've put too much paint on the model, and I'm just going to start giving it a bit of a blend in, just so that we don't have these harsh edge highlights, because we don't do Games Workshop painting around here. We do things the way we like to do them. The Bob Ross method of miniature painting. Not that he did any Warhammer, but you know, if he did do Warhammer, we'd like to think that he would do it this way. Yeah. I feel like I'm talking an awful lot this evening. Certainly if I'm becoming a pain in the ass, just let me know. I'll dial it back a bit. Yeah, so there we go. So his Tunic's received the first of its highlights, and then we're gonna give it its extreme highlight with the old Eternal Hunt. He would have painted some sick terrain, but taken too soon, man. I don't know, like I didn't like. Do you ever get that thing where, like, during COVID, like I spent a long time watching Bob Ross paint, and you know that way you spend a long time watching somebody on the television or like on the old monitor or whatever, however you're actually consuming your media, and like you think that you get to know people. It's kind of like a weird, like, one-way relationship that you build with people, you know. I think it's interesting. Like when I was at at Tabletop Scotland last Saturday, and Peachy was there from Peachy Tips from the Jugs podcast, however you consume his media, and like I feel like I know him, right, because I've watched tons of his content, right, but he doesn't know me, which is weird, right? And I clearly don't know him. I know his persona, but there's this kind of like weird setup, right? Like where like I feel like I know him. It's weird. It's a weird kind of world we live in, right? Like it's a weird world that we live in. There you go. That's his extreme highlight on. I'm just going to switch over to the. Extreme highlight here, and I'm just gonna come in and just give it a tickle, just like nice and gentle here. Nice and gentle. That's the guy, Bill. Like, I'd read that phrase before, but like I'd forgotten it. I'm pretty brain foggy, so again, I do apologize if I'm being a pain in the ass. But yeah, like parasocial relationship, like where you feel like you know someone, but like they've got no idea who you are. Couldn't pick you from Adam. There you go, and then yeah, looking good. Just doing a bit of blending here, just on here. You'll be like, Peter, you've made a terrible mess of this guy. That's all right. We'll fix it. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. Yeah. So I'm just coming in, giving these fancy bits. Yeah. Thanks very much, Imogen. He's looking good. We can go over to the studio and check in with Bob, see what Bob thinks. Yeah, Bob agrees. Bob says that everyone should be happy and we should all be enjoying ourselves and really just having a good old time. Making good choices. Like Imogen hates Bob Ross. Did you know that? It's unbelievable. I can't believe that you would say a thing like that. So what I'm going to do is, like, as part of this, I've kind of bust his leather straps here, so I'm just going to fix those. So I used Dark Umber last time, so I'm just going to go back in with Dark Umber and fix them up. This is the new tops on the on these bottles. I really like them. Like they're very very nice. Like, so yeah, really good if you're working with airbrush. Yeah, definitely, man. Did I put balls on my Pro Acryl? No, I've never put balls on my Pro Acryl. Balls to the wall. Probably should. And you start to get spoiled, right? Like I used to have like tops are real good, Bill. They need to get on the top train. The what's the thing? What was I talking about? Yeah, the balls and the paint. Like they like I remember like when I got back in the hobby, I used to have like loads and loads of like like glass balls that I used to spend time and put like a couple of glass beads and all of them kind of thing. But you get spoiled, right? Because like the army painter stuff just comes with it. So you just get out of the habit of blathering. I mean, I'm a pretty lazy guy, if I'm honest. Like I just want an easy time. So like I just get out the habit of it, you know. I had some problems with stainless steel balls at first, where they were advertised as stainless steel and they weren't. It doesn't need one. I don't think it'd do any harm, Imogen. I think it's a good thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, like the guys were good. The PA. I don't know if they do. They sound like they do. Like, not that I've got some sort of sixth sense of like the sound of balls and paint, right? But they do sound like they do. Yeah, so there you go. That's his tabard sorted, and then I'm just going to go in with the Beast Brown and just fix up his boots and things. Just again, just fixing up all the mistakes that I've made. Unsure. This paint's full of balls. Yeah, so just popping in a bit of this, bit of that, bit of this, bit of that. Just fixing things up. Yeah, we're just coming in, getting rid of some of this green, this overspill. I'm not looking for like perfect coverage. I'm just looking for, yeah, Pro paint comes with glass agitated balls in each ball. Have paint properly. Yeah, well, there you go. As they say, every day is a school day. You learn something new every day. So yeah, just working around, sorting out all the issues here. Just nice and gentle. Don't need to go wild with things. Don't need to go wild. You can see he's coming along. I see just like the pop, that green has given him, and just like, you know, tidying back up round. I mean, I'll get some of the plate mail metal in a second and just fix up some more of the metal. Just giving it like a bit of a tidy up is like, he's made him pop a bit. He's looking well. He's looking well. So yeah, just going to come in again, plate mail metal. And the paint, it's not come off this time, so I don't know what happened that last time, but you know, like as we talked about, we just fix it, fix everything. There's loads of things happen in a day to day. You know, you feel like a lot of the times that you don't have a lot of control over everything in your life. But on the old canvas here, you've absolutely got control. You really have. You can do whatever you want with it. You can fix it. You can break it. You make mistakes. Yeah. I think that's it, right? Keep calm. Enjoy it. Zero stress environment. Just again, being very gentle with the paint here, like on the brush. Don't need to go wild with it. Don't need to stab him to death with the brush. How much is left on the other guy? This fella. Nothing. Well, yeah, I think some tufts and just like fix up the base rim here. And he needs a transfer on his shield, so we can actually put that on tonight if you want to watch me put a transfer on something. But yeah, he's not got very much. I should really put him in shot so that you can see him. Yeah, so his shield will have a nice transfer, and then yeah, just need to fix up his base rim and a couple of tufts. I think it feels like the kraut tack has finally tacked up, which is quite good. Only took a week. So now he's pretty much done. So yeah, I think what I'm going to look at next is just going to fix up these shin guards, and just some of that. Yeah. So I think I've not painted in this here, which is like there's a bit of laurel here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull out another P3 paint. So this is the P3 paint called Isosan Green. Well, no spoilers, Imogen, no spoilers. So Isosan Green. This is not a toy, not intended for children, 13 years or age or younger. I'm going to try putting that on it. I don't know. We'll see. I think, like I say, I've got all these I've got all these beautiful P3 paints here, and I just haven't used them. It feels like a real, just a real shame, right? Like, they're good paints, I'm sure. I don't know, maybe they're not. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. But I should at least try them. Made to do challenges, like if you, like, I mean, I can, as long as it's not how many billiard balls I can fit in my mouth, that would be punishing. I was thinking about once I get a bit of kind of momentum, if I ever get a bit of momentum. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. I think it would be quite a good thing just to work on. Yeah, I think we're too spoiled, Bill. We're too spoiled with paints. Like, there's so much excellent paint these days, and you kind of just stick to your guns, right? And you stick to the things that you know, and things that you know that work. I think the experimentation is really where the fun is. I mean, you know, we sometimes don't have enough fun. Yeah, so that was the old Iosan. I don't know if that's how you say it. Iosan green. I've also picked out this other colour of green, Necrotite green, which looks really cool as well. This is also not a toy. It's quite good. The I didn't realise this, but the P3 you've also got like the, you know, the what the actual colour is. So now you've got like vivid bright green, vivid shadow green, like on the Iosan and stuff like that. Like, it's I didn't realise that they did that. I think like I'm just too married to the this whole system that Army Painter do at the minute. Like, I need to kind of maybe break away from it again. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and highlight up his hair a bit. So we used last time we used the molten green, the molten lava, the molten green. So I'm just going to switch to the lava orange, which is like the number 3 on the old oranges here. And I think when you're doing orange hair, you really need to be pretty sparing with this, right? Like, you can be quite tempting to come in here and do a lot with it. As someone who's painted a lot of dwarfs, as you know, I'm a famed, well known in the community for my dwarf perversion. So I just got a tiny bit of paint on the brush here. And like doing like troll slayers and stuff like that. Like, you don't really want an awful lot as you go up, kind of thing. Like, one of the good tips is that there's a GW wash called like Caraburg Crimson, and if you paint that around the roots on orange hair, it often makes it look really good. So you use like, if you're familiar with the GW washes, like you can use like Fugan orange on almost it, and then you can blend in with Caraburg Crimson. We'll do that. I'll show you. I'm very much a talk but don't do. I'm tempted with the Chorf spell. I think the sculpts are a bit busy for me, if I'm honest. I think like the rank and file are pretty busy. I don't know what other people think about it, but like I think doing like 2,000 points in them or something like that is going to be an absolute nightmare. And really, I'm not really trying to buy more miniatures at the minute. Like, I just don't really have a place in my heart for a lot of miniatures at the minute. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. I might change my mind completely tomorrow morning, like, you know, when I'm in a different headspace. I did have some Chaos Dwarfs back in 4th edition Fantasy, where if my friend Kenny was around, he would tell you that I did an unholy alliance of regular dwarfs and Chaos Dwarfs, because, you know, when you're a kid, you should be able to do whatever you want, right? Like, there's too many rules. There's too many self-important stuff. There you go. That's his hair kind of painted in. Quite happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right up to the very tip here. So this is the inner light, which is like the top of the oranges. So again, I'm just going to be incredibly sparing with this. I don't really want to do an awful lot with it. And then I'll find my Caraburg Crimson and my Fugan Orange, which I think I've got to hand, because yeah, there you go. There's the Caraburg Crimson, and there is the oh no, it's the Casadori Yellow. I nearly made a liar of myself. And there is the Fugan Orange. The boys, and again, you don't need an awful lot of these like washes. These 2 washes are like the same 2 that I've had since I got back into the painting 5 years ago. You know, let's not go wild. You don't need a lot of this stuff, right? You don't need a lot of this stuff. So yeah, so where I'm going to do the yellow is I'm just going to kind of come in at the tips here. So just at the very, very tip. So I'm just going to take some paint off my brush and just going to do that. So we're just looking to give it the biggest pop that we can without it exploding. So yeah, I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm kind of. I do apologise that I'm pretty low energy this evening. I'm doing okay so far. I think we're about an hour in, which is quite good. Yeah, I thought, like, if I didn't stream tonight, then it would probably have been like next Tuesday. It felt like that was probably a bit too long. So I don't know what you guys think of that that orange hair. I think his orange hair is looking. I can get it to focus. It's looking pretty good. Thanks very much, Imogen. I think he's looking okay there. So again, I'm going to just look at these 2. So the Caraburg Crimson, the Fugan Orange. So I'm going to apologise first of all, because I'm going to have to work pretty fast when I'm doing this. But like, I'll try to explain what I'm doing as we go. So we've got two washes. So the Caraburg Crimson and the Fugan Orange. I'm just going to try and set them on bits where you can't see them. So I'm going to come in with the Caraburg, and I'm just kind of going to go around the hairline here. So I want to go basically round the hairline and round kind of like the top here. There we go. Round the ear here. Just to kind of give it a bit of that kind of pink punch. And then I'm going to switch over to the Fugan Orange, and the Fugan Orange is then going to come in. I'm just going to draw the Caraburg up into the Fugan Orange. You're like, Peter, I don't see any difference. That's all right. Half of this is for my own gratification, so you don't need to. If it makes you feel better, then just head out. Just head out. Do what you need to do. So yeah, there we go. I'm just going to put a bit more of the orange here. And yeah, that's how we're looking. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it comes off. But we'll let it dry for a bit. And what I'm going to do is, now that his face is dried, I'm just going to come in with the next steps on the old... Oh, now I've got paint all over my fingers. Because, yeah, that's just how it is. It's a messy hobby, this is a messy hobby. So I started off with the moonstone skin. And now I'm going to go to the barbarian flesh. I like to think of myself as a bit of a barbarian. So just give that a shake. There we go. Yeah, so barbarian flesh. Yeah. Has anybody got any projects that they're excited about that are on the horizon? What's everybody doing next? I've got quite a few more of my Votan. So as usual, I'm just going to go over his brow ridges and like his nose with us just to pick them out. So yeah, I'm working my Votan. I really like my Votan. I'm busy feeding my models to the dogs. Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad move. I've only ever lost one Sister of Battle to a dog. And that was bad enough. So I'm just going to bring in his cheeks. I've added a lot of texture to this face just because I was mucking about with it too much. But we're all good. We're not gonna worry too much about it. We're not going to worry too much about it. I think he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, Betsy ate a Sister of Battle. Bosco's never ate a Sister of Battle, so he's never ate any miniatures, which is he's a good boy. I'm a big fan of our Bosque. Yeah, so yeah, the stuff on the horizon. Like I'd like to get back to that. I'd like to actually put a bit more paint on my Horus Heresy Mechanicum stuff. But, just haven't really had the motivation recently to do it. Whale paints, and yeah, we'll do the whale painting, the white whale. I'm actually worried about it. As stupid as that sounds. There you go. There's his face, and it's looking quite good. I think I'm just gonna skip right to the pearl skin here now, and have a go at that. Right, there we go. Just a tiny bit, just a tiny dot. We don't need an awful lot of this. Just do it. Listen, Nike. Yeah, so just coming in with that, and then just on his nose and his upper lip, and there. Excellent, Bill. Thanks very much for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing what you painted. I'll chat to you soon. I'm just gonna pop in his ears. Bill is a legend. I hope you hear me, Bill. I love you very much. Yeah, so just gonna again just nice and gentle here. Like we don't wanna go wild. I don't know if I'm happy with that or not. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. I'm just going to fix up this bit of cord here because I noticed it's green. I'm just going to fix that up. Yeah, I'm not sure on what I've done to his face there. I think the going so high with the pearl here has been perilous. and perilous, but we'll fix it. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Just nice and gently. So yeah, I don't know if like now that his hair's settling, if you can see the effect that you've got now on that hair. So that's the kind of where the way that I do like orange hair. See, especially like this bit here is quite a good demonstration of it. So you've got like the dark of the Caraburg crimson, and then you've got like the Fuguing orange over the top of it, kind of thing. So you get this really nice like hair color. Yeah, it's one of the things that I quite like doing. So yeah, so I'm just gonna let his face settle a bit there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to these straps here. So as I said earlier, we did these in the dark umber, and then we are gonna switch over to the light umber just to highlight with it. Come on, there we go. There's the light umber, Mr. Umber. Again, I'm just going to come in. Don't want too much paint on the brush, and I'm just gonna gently. I don't really know about these Pro Acrylic paints. I know that a lot of people really swear by them, but I find them pretty watery, like consistency wise. I guess if I was using them all the time, I would get used to them. But I don't really use them an awful lot. Yeah, like you'll notice that I've actually just I've just ditched the those Rosemary & Co brushes. I think they're terrible. Those triangular handles are rotten. And I've gone back to the brush that I don't like talking about, which is the MIG. It's funny, I've got all these brushes that I use a lot, and I don't want to talk about any of them because the people that deal with it that are manufacturing them are terrible. It just feels like that's like a very modern problem, right? Like that everybody that produces the stuff that you like is a shitbag, you know? Yes. I'm just going to pop that in there. And then again, I'm just going to come in. So I've put some paint on there. Lick the brush. Don't lick your brush. Use a pot of water. And then just gonna, maybe it's a sign. Do my own brushes. Become a brush wizard. I don't even think anybody would buy them, so I've got too many opinions. Yeah, so there we go. So that's it. So yeah, there's these strapper runes. And he's whatchamacallit? His thing. You know his thing. His thing's all thinged in. So next I'll do his wood here. And I didn't do his wood. This guy's got wood. So we used oak brown to start with. So we'll just switch to Tree Ancient, which is one of the ruddy browns. The ruddy browns. Thanks very much, Imogen. You're very, very generous. Very generous indeed. Yeah, so I'm going to come in with the ruddy browns and I'm just looking to be pretty messy here. I'm not really looking for full coverage or anything like that. I'm just looking to just highlight it. Yeah. Just make it all look handsome. And I'm just going to come in with a wet brush and just blend it all out so it doesn't look ridiculous. Just blend it all out. Wet brush, wet brush. It's all good. You're doing fine. You're doing fine, Peter. It's looking okay. There you go. There he is. So his face is come in pretty bright here. Like that was the wrong move. Not that there's ever a wrong move, you actually just like, I don't know why I'm saying it, like, but it wasn't the easiest thing to do. So I'm just going to come back in with the warm skin shade. Just give it like a light touch just to kind of dull that down a bit again. Should be all right. There we go. That's it. Just unifying the look again. So one of the things that I always like to do is come back in with like the washes here and just unify in once we've done the highlights. There we go. There you go. Right. And while we're at it, we'll take the military shade and just kind of bring it into his tunic here. So we'll switch over to the big boy, the Raphael 2, and just pop this in. So again, one of the things that I advocate for is when you're really starting to paint, you should really be using the biggest brush possible at all times, rather than the smallest brush. But it helps you with your brush control generally. If you're using this tiny brush all the time, it can be pretty frustrating as well, because you're not, if it doesn't have a big belly, it takes a long time to get paint off the brush as well, you know, onto the miniature. So yeah, you should be learning how to use big brushes accurately. It'll do you the world of good, learning how to do it. So there he goes. And then, oh, that was disgusting. I'm going to use the dark tone here, just to, come on, more dark tone, to go over his gloves, his scabbard, just to unify in the look here a bit. There he is. There he is. You're looking grand, mister. You're looking grand. Just down the back here. In here, round the back, on these boots. And then just gently on his leather straps. Nice and gentle. You just want the paint coming out. You don't want to frighten the boy. You don't want to frighten the young man. Yeah. And then just down here on the inside. There you go. There he is. And I've put that paint in my mouth again. It's wonderful stuff. It's delicious. Yeah, so what we've got left really is deciding if we're going to do any more on the old head in the box here. I then also need to dry brush up the skull here, and then put base and paste on him, and then he's done. Yeah, so we'll do that. We will grab skeleton bone, which is light neutrals, One phrase from the bingo. What am I missing? What have I not hit yet? What have I not hit yet? Right, so I didn't wet this brush after I finished using it, so this will now need cleaned. Condoning. So again, just gonna get as much paint off here as possible. Capillary action is one that I've not hit tonight. Capillary action. There you go. There's these skulls slightly highlighted. No, we do not condone. There's also someone singing outside, so I hope you can't hear that. It's a bit early in the day to be drunkenly singing. And we're just going to go to Bony Spikes. Bony Spikes. Bony M. And again, this is just going to be the ultimate highlight. It is nearly 9 o'clock, but I mean, if you're drunk at 9 o'clock on a Friday, you're actually alive. There we go. So yeah, I'm not really sure what to do. So I need to still sort out the gold here. So maybe do that and then decide what we're going to do with this head in the box. I've not really done an awful lot of zombie painting, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But that's all right. We can always work that out. So we're going to switch over to doing some gold, which I don't drink either, which is it's like condoning this. We're going to switch to fine gold here. So just give this a go. So yeah. So all we're doing here is we're not looking for full coverage. We're just looking for just a tickle, just to give us like a different colour on here. Yeah, so just coming in. And just working all this gold, just to kind of knock in some of the yellow out of it a bit. Beating the devil out of it, as Bob would say. There we go. And up here. And just on this cool S. S for love. And we can fix this green here that I've got on the scabbard. That's alright. We don't need to worry about that. There's some green here, so I'm just going to quickly get rid of it. So there we are. And over here. And just gonna do that, which then made a mess. Of course it did, Peter, that was stupid. So just gonna fix the mess that I've made here. So just gonna blend it out. all good. Come back in with the gold. Just fix that up. Put gold in here. Gold. Probably get too much gold on our brush at the minute, but that's all right. We'll just go easy. Right. And there we have it. I think we're pretty good condition with him. I think he's looking all right. I'm reasonably pleased with him. Reasonably pleased. I don't really know if there's much else I want to do with him. So just to kind of give you the comparison with him and his boss, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. They look like they're from the same family. They just have to be cousins, right? They don't have to be brothers and sisters. So what I'll do is, it's nearly 9 o'clock. So what I'll do is I'll quickly put some basin paste on this guy, just so it's ready. And then what I'll do is I'll show you my process for putting transfers on, if you like. Decals. Right, so where's my basin paste? It's over here. So again, we're using the AK Terrain's muddy ground. So I've got a bunch of brushes that I keep in just in water here, just for this very purpose. I'm just going to grab one of them, and I'm just going to toss on some of the mud. Thank you very much, MJ. The army is well, the faction of cities of Sigmar is the living cities faction. That's the idea anyway. So yeah, so kind of going for that kind of green aesthetic. I don't know if I've shown you, maybe not seen it, but like this was like a competition piece that I did. So I'm trying to kind of match up these guys to this competition piece, but obviously not spend as much time on them. So this is a Freeguild Cavalier Marshal, which is the kind of inspiration, the inspo for this guy. This guy is a Freeguild Marshal, and this is his friend, his Squire, his man that holds a head in the box. So yeah, just trying to keep them relatively similar. Who knows how successful we're going to be, but we're as successful as we want to be is the upshot. There we go. So that's the basin paste on him. So he can now go over to Neverland and dry off. So there you go. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take some of this stuff away, and we are gonna thanks very much, MJ, it's very, very kind of you. We're just going to take my glass chopping board out of the way, and we're going into one of the many drawers that I've got round about me here, and we are going to find a transfer sheet. It's gonna focus. So here are the transfer sheets that we're looking at. So we need one of these guys, one of these young men. So in order to do this, I need a scalpel, and I need a tub of water, and I need my microsol. So give me just a second while I attempt to find where on earth I have put my microsol. And if I can't find it straight away, I'll just do it with water, because I can do it with water as well. And I can see my micro set, but I can't see my microsol. Cool. So we have a transfer sheet. We've got like these little metal dishes, which I'm a big fan of. I can't see my microsol. So all I'm going to do is, I've got these squeezy bottles full of water. So I'm just going to pop some water in there. I'm then going to just cut out the transfer that I want, just with the, you don't need to be super kind of close to it. Games Workshop transfers are actually really, really good, in so much as they are pretty well cut. If you start into third-party transfers, like they get really ropey. You can also do your own transfers. There's transfer printer paper that you can buy, but it is pretty thick. So there you go. There's my transfer. There's my water. I'm just going to put this transfer sheet out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce these guys together and just let that run for a bit. I don't know what I've done with my microsol. I can't see it anywhere. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not here somewhere, but yeah. So yeah, so this is gonna be the guy that's gonna get the transfers, and it's gonna go into his shield here, just in the middle. So I'm just gonna gently play about with this, just to kind of tease it a bit, tease it off the backing paper. So you can see it's starting to move. So that's it now, coming off the backing paper. So we're almost there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some water where the transfer is going to go on. I find it helps because the transfer then can move around, so you can kind of then settle it where you want it. So I'm now going to put the transfer on my brush. So it's now on my brush. It's wrapped around it. And then I'm just going to introduce it. So just unroll the transfer. And then I'm just going to push it around. To where I want it. And then I'm just going to push it down with a brush. So every time I push it down with the brush, I'm also trying to soak up some of the water, so that the water comes off. There we go. And then there you have it. As simple as that. I don't know if that helped or not. I mean, I've only put on like several million of these transfers over my life, so like I kind of do it without thinking. In this case, because this square is quite flat, so the microsol and microset taste like vinegar, which is weird. In this case, the microset and microsol are less useful. See, simply because this is a like a pretty like straightforward shape. When you start dealing with shapes that are kind of like curved and like in different directions, the microsaw and microset will help it adhere to that, that shape. But because this is a pretty flat shape, we're not a great deal of kind of curves or anything like that. It kind of went on no problem. So now I've got the microsaw. So like what you won't be able to see just now is that it'll look frosted round about the transfer, because there's like essentially a clear part here. So the microsaw is good for getting rid of that. So yeah, so all I'm going to do is dip the brush into the microsaw, and I'm just going to paint it over the. So you just want to be gentle here, because the microsaw will get underneath the decal, or the transfer, or the decal, and start to move it around, which we don't want because we're pretty happy with the positioning. So I'm just going to paint it on to see, you can see it's moving. Balls, but that's all right. We'll just reposition it where we want it, and we'll leave it. Decal. The dog is currently trying to eat his foot, which is incredibly distracting. Bosco, will you leave that foot alone, please? Right, so like I say, the microsaw has got underneath the transfer here, and it's causing it to move around. So I don't want to really touch it an awful lot. I'm just trying to get it positioned back where I want it, which is just ever so slightly that way. All right, so one of the key things about transfers, and now that we've used the microsaw, is that this now needs to completely dry. So if you've got like a transfer that's going to cross multiple curves kind of thing, this is a kind of iterative process. You go in here, you paint it on, you let it completely dry, then you come in here and paint it on again. So you just have to repeat the process over and over until they are until they're happy with. Don't be tempted to keep coming in here and just keep flooding this, because you will ruin it, unfortunately. Cool. So here are our men, our friends. They're not in focus at the minute, so let's see if we can get them to focus. So there you go. That's what we're looking at. I think just before I go, I'm just gonna highlight. So so I might put just a tiny bit of black paint, or this coal black, on this guy's hair here, and then I'm just going to quickly highlight up just the very tips of this Laurel and Hardy. So we'll put these to the side and get rid of you, and we'll bring back up our palette. There we go. So, I just spilt water everywhere. Brilliant. So I'm just going to highlight up with this necrotite green, because I quite like the look of it. We'll see if it's any good. I think we'll leave the white whale for another day, because I'm not really feeling the ability today. And then we'll use the coal black for his hair. Right, so like I say, we're just gonna take some of this green, probably too much on the brush there, and we're just gonna lightly, just ever so gently, just enough. Bosco, will you stop that, please? Yeah, there we go. Just ever so slightly, ever so gently. just give that a bit of a touch, just so you can see it just kind of jumps out a bit, just to give it a bit of excitement, right? We all need a wee touch of excitement every now and again. Every now and again, just a bit of excitement. A bit of excitement. Beat the devil out of it. Right, then we're going to get some of this coal black, and I'm just going to introduce it to these here, just to give it another colour. That's made a big improvement already. I'm quite pleased with that. Quite pleased with that. I feel like I want to do something with these eyelids. I don't know if this is going to be a horrible mistake or not. We'll just fix it if it is, right? We'll just fix it if it is. I want like a... What should I do? What should I do? What colour should I do? What have we got? What's this? Grey green. Right, cool. I think what we'll do is we'll come in with a grey green. And I just want to highlight up this zombie's face slightly, but I don't want to go buck wild here and make a mess. So we're just going in here nice and gently. Nice and gently. Get paint all over your fingers, Peter. That's the game. This is a grey green. So again, just with this being a grey green, it will also tie it back into the rest of the model because we're looking at greens kind of thing, you know. There we go. I don't know if that really made any difference, but it's made me happy. So that'll do it. That'll do it. That's all that matters, right? Just make yourself happy. Enjoy your hobby. There we go. So I think with that, I'm probably going to call it for this evening. I'm getting very tired now. But I'm quite happy with where we are. So I guess this is where we are with this couple of jokers. Yeah. They're pretty good going. Pretty good going. I'm quite happy with them. It's not really... No, you're very welcome, Imogen. Thanks for coming along. As always. I'll probably not do any more streaming on these guys. I think all that's left really to do is to get the bases finished off and then give them a bit of a matte down with varnish. But I will post them on my Instagram, so if you're keen to find out how they end up looking, then they will be featured on my Instagram once they're done. I'll probably just finish them off this weekend so that they're off my plate completely, and then I'll need to come up with what we'll do next on the stream, if I stream again. Thanks very much, MJ. You're very, very kind. Everybody's very kind. Everybody's very kind. Yeah. So there you go. well, I hope you have a good weekend. And have a lovely rest of the evening. I am going to take the pup out for a walk, and I am then probably going to go to my bed. I'll show you the War Song Revenant again, because I think this is an absolute beautiful miniature. Like, I really, really think he's a handsome miniature. Yeah, I think we just need to put some time on him, get him done, get him finished. I've got a Lady of the Vines there to paint as well. So yeah, this has kind of been my blocker on my Sylvaneth army for quite a bit. Yeah, so it's a really nice miniature. I don't even know if it's a good miniature in the game. I don't know if it's even worth taking, you know. But there you have it. Yeah, so I guess the last thing to do before we finish up for the evening is to do the prerequisite Bosco cam. So Mr. Bosco is lying on the floor over here. There he is. The man, the legend. He's had a hard shift. He's had a hard old day of lying about, being a menace to society. Yeah. Please ignore my overflowing bin. I should really take it downstairs and empty it, but sometimes it's too much effort, right? It's too much effort. Right. So again, thanks very much for coming, folks, and I'll see you again. I'll see you again soon. Bye, 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 bye.